Hello children, welcome to the online classes. In the previous session I explained you Thallophyta. What are Thallophyta? How do they reproduce? How do they take in food and all. So let us learn about Bryophyta. Thallophyta, Bryophyta and Pteridophyta are the divisions of or the categories under non-flowering plants or cryptogams. All the plants in the kingdom Plantae are divided into mainly three categories. What are they? Thallophyta, Bryophyta and Pteridophyta. So about Thallophyta it's over. Now Bryophyta. Bryophytes. These are also multicellular eukaryotic organisms. In Thallophyta, they are also multicellular eukaryotic organisms, but only the thing is they do not have specialized organs like shoot system, root system, leaves and all. All the organ systems, for example I said no, root system, shoot system, flowers, leaves, all these are not there in algae. Just they are like patches of green substances floating on the water or on the damp wet surfaces of ground or walls or logs of wood, like that, wherever it is wet. So that is about algae. But coming to bryophytes, bryophytes are a bit developed than the thallophytes because they have root-like, stem-like and leaf-like structures. They are not true leaves or stem or root, but they resemble either the root or stem or leaf. How can we say that they are not true roots or true leaves? If we take the section of either root or stem or leaf and observe under electron microscope, we cannot find the tissues that must be present in a true root, stem or leaf. What are the tissues that should be present in the true root or stem or leaf? Parenchyma, collenchyma, if it is leaf, chlorenchyma, isn't it? Vascular bundles, xylem and phloem. All these must be there, but they are not there in these root-like, stem-like, leaf-like structures in bryophytes. For example, Marchantia, Funaria, moss. These are the best examples of bryophytes. Today I will explain you the life history of moss plant. If you see a moss plant, it has two stages in its life cycle. Two stages. These are leaf-like structures, but they are not leaves. These are root-like structures but not roots. These are called rhizoids. These rhizoids hold the plant firmly to the ground, and these are leaf-like structures because they have green colored substance, chlorophyll, and prepare food for the plant. Up to here, this part of the plant is called gametophyte. It is considered as gametophyte. Why it is considered as gametophyte? Because male and female gametes are produced in the tuft, in that bunch of the leaf-like structures. In the middle, here there are gametes produced. Male and female gametes are produced. Here, a bunch of male and female gametes are produced. These male and female gametes fuse to form, actually in the beginning this stem-like structure is not there. So this is called foot and this is called seta. Foot and seta. From the bunch of the leaves, male and female gametes are produced. So it is considered as gametophyte, as gametes are produced. The male and female gametes fuse and give rise to this foot, and at the end of the foot there is a capsule or seta or capsule. In this seta or capsule there are spores. When this capsule bursts open, these spores are released into the air. They reach the ground. When they reach the ground, again they give rise to a gametophyte. So first, gametophyte is there. The gametophyte has rhizoids which hold the plant to the ground, and leaf-like structures, a tuft or bunch of leaf-like structures from the middle of which gametes are produced. These gametes are male and female gametes. These male and female gametes fuse to form a zygote. From the zygote, this stem-like structures, it is called foot. So, the foot and seta together called sporophyte. From the gametophyte, what is developed? A sporophyte developed. The sporophyte has foot and seta or capsule. Within the capsule, there are spores. That is why it is considered as sporophyte. Till here it is gametophyte, and from the foot onwards it is sporophyte. So, two stages are there in its life cycle. It is called alternation of generation. One generation is gametophytic stage. The next generation is sporophytic stage. So, gametophyte is alternating with the sporophyte. That is why this is alternation of generation that is observed in bryophytes, especially in bryophytes. In bryophytes, the main plant is which is hold to the ground is gametophyte, and from the gametophyte only sporophyte developed, and when the spores reach the ground during favorable conditions, they germinate into a gametophyte. So gametophyte always alternating with the sporophyte. Again sporophyte grows into a gametophyte. From the gametophyte, sporophyte develops. It goes on continuously in a cyclic process that is called alternation of generation. That is best example, moss, life cycle of moss plant, and Funaria, Marcantia. These are best examples of bryophytes. Next kingdom, next category is pteridophytes. Pteridophytes. You might have seen fern plant. Fern. This fern plant is a sporophyte because for the fern plant, if you observe the older leaves, on the back of the older leaves, there are sporangia, brown colored dots. In these sporangia only, spores are present. If you observe, the leaf of the fern plant, on the lower side there are brown dots. What are they? Sporangia. In these sporangia, what are they? Sporangium singular, sporangia plural. In these sporangia, spores are present. When the spores reach the ground, they germinate into a heart-shaped prothallus. This is green colored heart-shaped prothallus. From this prothallus produces male and female gametes. The male and female gametes fuse to form the zygote, and it gives rise to a sporophyte. So, fern plant is a sporophyte. Basically, the fern plant is a sporophyte. The spores, when they reach the ground, they germinate into a gametophyte. This prothallus is the heart-shaped prothallus is the gametophyte, and the fern plant is a sporophyte. The spores, when they reach the ground, when it is wet, if there are favorable conditions, it grows into a heart-shaped prothallus. That prothallus produces gametes. That is why the prothallus is a gametophyte. But these gametes, after they fuse, The male and female gametes fuse to form the zygote, and from that zygote the fern plant grows. And this prothallus degenerates. Here we have to notice one thing. The prothallus is not fixed to the ground, but the sporophyte, the fern plant, is fixed to the ground with root-like structures. These are called rhizoids, and the leaves are called fronds. The leaves in the fern plant are called fronds, and the leaves or roots are rhizoids. Just like in Bryophyta, these are also not true roots. They are root-like structures called rhizoids. They absorb the water and mineral salts from the soil. And these leaves are fronds. And at the back side of the leaves, there are dots, brown colored dots. Those are sporangia. Each sporangium has spores inside. When the sporangium bursts open, these spores reach the ground and grow into a heart-shaped prothallus, which is not attached or fixed to the ground with root-like rhizoids. So it is free on the surface of the soil when it touches the humus, and when there are favorable conditions, suppose say for example sunlight and water, then it germinates, because it produces male and female gametes. They fuse to form the zygote. From that zygote, sporophyte develops. So first sporophyte is fixed to the ground with the help of rhizoids. It has leaves, fronds. They are green in color, they can prepare the food, and they also bear sporangia. There are no flowers at all. These are non-flowering plants. So the sporangia produces spores. Spores give rise to gametophyte. Again gametophyte gives rise to sporophyte. Here also there is alternation of generation. Both in Bryophyta and Pteridophyta we can observe alternation of generation, but only the thing is, in Bryophyta gametophytic stage is fixed to the ground. For example, moss plant I have drawn. Moss plant is fixed to the ground with the help of rhizoids. It is a gametophyte. But coming to the Pteridophytes, the fern plant is a sporophyte, because it is fixed to the ground and it is producing spores, not gametes. But moss plant is producing gametes from the tuft of the leaf-like structures. From the middle of the bunch, gametes are produced and they fuse to form the zygote. From the zygote, a foot and seta developed, that is sporophyte. So in Bryophytes, gametophyte is the plant which is fixed to the ground, but in Pteridophytes, sporophyte is the main stage which is fixed to the ground. Gametophytic stage degenerates. As in Bryophytes, the sporophyte, the capsule bursts open and it degenerates. In the same way, in Pteridophytes, the gametophyte degenerates. So in both Bryophyta and Pteridophyta, alternation of generation can be observed. In Bryophyta, gametophytic stage is the main stage. Sporophytic stage is a temporary stage. But in Pteridophyta, sporophytic stage is the permanent and major stage, and this gametophyte is a temporary stage. It does not survive for a longer period. That is about alternation of generation in both Bryophyta and Pteridophyta. So, go through the lesson once. Diagrams are there, moss plant and fern plant and funaria, mercantia, all these. Anyhow, I have shown you in video also yesterday in Google Meet class, day before yesterday. So, hope you understood, children. Have a nice day.